Hello everybody, and we're back with another Civilization 5 video. It's been really a while, but I'm glad to be back with some Civ content. And so today we're going to be looking at Attila the Hun and why they're not a really great Civ. They're actually quite flawed and quite bad for multiplayer. Just take this as a note, everybody that's watching this. Single player can be super fun, even multiplayer can be super fun. But for multiplayer purposes, they have a lot of flaws that really impact them for their late game and mid game. So why am I saying they're bad? Well, the problem all comes down to their early aggression. If you're next to other players, they're gonna know you're gonna attack them as Attila the Hun. So you're not gonna get that surprise element, and it's gonna take you more time to do war. And what does more war does in the early game? It slows down your production, it slows down your advancements in science, fate, culture. And this is just gonna slow you down for your mid game and late game. It's the early game is so important to get a good structure now. But with Attila the Hun, you corrupt your structure. You break your main structure down to compromise it for fighting players. And some players can make this work. Some multiplayer players that are really good can make Attila the Hun work, and some players know how to use his abilities to make it really work. But a majority of you guys, if you guys attack early game, you're gonna have a less good main structure of building, science generation, and all that compared to other players that did not do war. Because war, what it does is that you waste all your production into units, and you need to finish it quickly to war. But if you're in multiplayer, like I said with the Huns, people are gonna know that, and you're gonna have a resistance. Their units are pretty good, honestly. Their units are really good, but if you do not know go to war, they're useless. I studied a horse archer that can be pretty good, but the battering ram is completely useless, and that's the problem with early game units. When you have an early game unit, if you're not going to use them, like the battering ram, you cannot use it unless you go to war, and war is going to make you less strong, and that's a problem. So their main mechanic, their main core strategy is to go to war early, but if you go to war early, you're probably not going to succeed well enough to compete in late game. Meaning the battering ram is not good. Meaning the horse archer is good for a main unit, like a base unit, but they're not good because you're gonna be using them to, let's say, defend units and all that. But their main purpose is supposed to go to war, but you're not gonna go to war if you want to have a good structure. And that's the problem. You see, there's a circle. You want to use their abilities, but you can't, because if you use their abilities and you fail at it, your whole game is ruined. Let's say we go here. Raise cities at double speed rate, kind of dog shit. City names from other civs, like you can steal their names, actual dog shit. Start with animal husbandry technology, actually quite good. But the problem comes with, to use that extra production from this ability, you need a pasture on it, and so you need to build a worker. And if you're going to war, you're not going to be building a worker. So you see the problem? The problem comes when you're trying to your abilities can be used for peaceful, but they're more based on war, and early warfare is bad. You can have fun in single player with it, but in multiplayer it's extremely hard because you need to be great at war, but also you need to be great at tricking the enemy. Because if you're not tricking them, you're just going straight into their army. You're gonna get you might get a couple kills on them, but you're not gonna take their city. And even if you take their city, it's gonna take too long. And so animal husbandry, yes, it's fun to have for the extra horses for the production in your city. So you're gonna have some extra production to build those battering rams if you're going to war, even though you shouldn't. Yeah, it's fun, but you're still not advancing your shrine production. You still have to start with a shrine. Like, imagine if you would start with pottery. Imagine how strong that would be, starting with pottery. You can go straight into writing for Great Light. That would be insane. But no civilization starts with that because that would be too strong. But anyway, let's do a recap on Attila. Why is he bad? The focus on military in the early game. What should you do as playing as Attila? If you're playing as a player, have fun. That's what I'm suggesting you guys. But if you're not playing, if you're playing on multiplayer instead of single player, multiplayer, it's either, if you're stuck with the Huns, it's either you have to really try to play safe for an early war and try to really get a city out of it. If not, you're crumbling yourself. Or if not, you just use that extra production early game. Maybe try to get a city state instead of a civilization for your second city, and try to work with what you got, because you don't have much as Attila, and your abilities, you don't get much. You get all of your abilities and uniqueness early game, and after the rest of the game, you're just an ordinary civ. Pretty much, you're an ordinary civ that doesn't get any bonuses in the late game. So that's pretty much it for my video. If you guys like, leave a like down below and subscribe to my content. If you like Valorant, DST, and Civ videos, leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.